Hey YouTube, this is Mixie Tarot. I'm coming to you guys because I actually I was sitting down having a cup of coffee and a granola bar, and I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I took a sip of my coffee and it sat for a little bit, and when I looked at it, I had to do a double take because at the rim of the cup, it looked like a group of people in solidarity, arms around each other, doing a march. And I feel like it's a march in Washington. Um, I didn't take it as anything negative. I said, well, I mean, it could be, it kind of looks like people standing in line too. I mean, are people standing in bread lines or people standing in line to get vaccines? But it literally was thousands and thousands of people. This is what it looked like to me, which made me think this looks like a march on Washington. So I actually want to do a read to see if I can get any information about what I think I saw in the in the picture of the coffee cup. I don't read coffee cups. I know there's a really amazing tarot reader out there. Her name is Water Bendita. She actually, before I get into that, I'm going to be using the Next World Tarot, the New Era Elements, Dreaming Way, Lenormand, and the Mixed Emotions deck. But like I was saying, I know there's a really amazing tarot reader out there who does, her name is Water Bendita, and she does coffee mugs. I don't do coffee mugs, but for whatever reason, what I saw in my mug, I I was pulled to it. I was drawn to it, and I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. It was really interesting. It was really cool. So I'm gonna see if there's going to be a march in Washington. Um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Next World Tarot. Okay. I've already prayed and asked God to bring forth any messages, asking God for his permission to bring forth any messages he may want the collective to know. These are just blank cards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Angels, can you show us if there's going to be a march on Washington? Can you show us if there's going to be a march on Washington? Is there going to be an organized march on Washington? Will there be an organized march on Washington once COVID-19 goes down? Will there be a march in Washington once COVID-19, it's safe to do so? Will there be a march in Washington once it's safe to do so? Will there be a march in Washington? Will there be a march in Will there be a march in Washington after COVID-19? Will there be a march in Washington after COVID-19? Okay, so the first card that I get is the teacher, and she's reading a book called The Bridge They Call My Back. The Bridge Called My Back. Borderlands is another book I see here. And then there's another one. The first word I see is Cuban. I can't make the rest out. And then there's thought. Okay. So I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to continue to read. So we got the teacher. The next card that we have out is the Six of Pentacles. It says redistribution. This looks like aid after like a hurricane. There's some boxes here that say disaster relief, first aid, emergency, first response, I think that says. Um, and then this one of the people in the picture has on a armband that says feet medic, I think. This is that card. Okay. The next card we have is resilience, the Nine of Wands. This person is sitting in a room playing music, and there's some guitars in the background. Okay, the next card I get is loss. I think this is and this is in the past position, so I think this is referring to the loss we will all have from COVID-19. The next card we have is the Ace of Pentacles, the roots of the earth. The next card we have is safety, the Ten of Cups. This person is with their family and their pet cat. It's not the greatest neighborhood, but there we go. The next card we have is the Sun. This is like the most positive card you can get in a deck. It's a really beautiful card. Look at that, the Sun. The next card we have is the Nine of Swords, despair. But look, she's looking she's looking back, like she's looking back on what happened. The despair in the past is behind us. The next card we have is the Page of Wands, the Home of Fire, and this is San Francisco. There's a woman here kneeling down, and the first thing that I think of when I see this is earthquake. So I really hope this doesn't mean there's going to be an earthquake in the near future, like, I mean, less than 6 months in the San Francisco or the Bay Area. Take a look at that picture, the Golden Gate Bridge. The bridge is broken. There's the cement is fractured. The framework is fractured. One more card. We have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Okay, so as far as like some sort of march happening, I don't know. It's either a march or a huge concert that's going to happen in DC, and this is for, with this card, I'm getting it's going to be like some sort of fundraiser, some sort of relief fundraiser for COVID, after COVID-19, helping states and people who are still suffering after and in because of the aftermath of COVID-19. So it could be like a huge live aid concert that's going to happen, or it's a protest or march on Washington regarding uh, um, redistribution of funds or food, or a food drive or whatever for those who've been hit the hardest after COVID-19. Or it could also be regarding the borders, because what sticks out to me in this first card, the bridge called my back, borderlands, and on one of the books it says Cuban. I immediately think of, with the Borderlands book and the Cuban book, I think immigration. So this could be some sort of concert for relief, to raise money for the aftermath of COVID-19 and helping those who are at the borders. Because I'm sure those people, they don't even talk about what's happening at the borders, and those people that, especially the children that they have in cages down there. God only knows the conditions that they're having to survive in. I know that COVID-19 is probably running rampant down at the borders in those prisons that they have immigrants in. We just don't hear about it, or at least I haven't heard anybody reporting on what's happening down there. The next we have is the Five of Cups. Of course, this has to do with death, mourning the people that we love. Again, the Ace of Pentacles. This has to do with money, raising money. And the Ten of Cups. This has to do with safety, feeling safe in the future from COVID-19. And in the self, the collective position, there's the Sun. That's happiness. And with the sunflowers that I actually see there, I see life being different, because these sunflowers are different, life being different, but being able to get back to some sort of normal where we're all happy. Despair is now behind us. Again, this card, I get an earthquake in San Francisco. That's what I'm seeing. And then with the Ace of Cups, just embracing one another and loving one another. Okay, so I'm going to move on to a different deck. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna do I'm gonna do the mixed emotions. Can you show me the collective, a march on Washington for the collective, for benefiting the collective? March on Washington benefiting the collective. A march on Washington benefiting the collective. Can you show me the collective, the March on Washington? If there's going to be a March on Washington, what's it for? Why are people doing it? If a march is to happen in Washington, why are the people doing it? I got how I feel: exhausted. Exhaustion. People are weary, fatigued, and drained. Okay. I got another blank card. confused, and hateful. So I feel like maybe people are doing the march because they're tired of the current administration. They're confused about the current situation that we're all in. They're confused about the information that they got and the information that they're currently getting. They're confused about how the administration is handling it. And I also, the hateful card, I don't feel like, maybe some people hate the current administration, but I really feel like it's the collective does not condone the hatefulness that has come from the White House regarding uh, immigrants, um, the hatefulness that Trump has evoked in white supremacy organizations, the hate that's been provoked in in that from the words that Trump actually spews, it's provoking prejudice, racism, xenophobia, you name it, anything that falls into those negative categories. His speech and behavior has pushed people to think that it's okay to do those things. Um, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave the read. Like I said, there could be a march in Washington. If it's not a march, it could be a Live Aid concert to raise money. And of course, this is when it's safe, when it's actually safe to go ahead and do that. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So that's what I'm actually seeing. And Mixie Tarot out.